Okay, so let's maybe put the wire piece in, and I'm actually going to model this detail. You might not have to do that if you're going to texture it, because you could probably get this out of a bump map, which would save you a lot of polys. Okay, but I will show you how to model it. Okay, just in case you want to do it, or if you have something else that has a similar type of piece. Okay, so let's go into the left view. Okay, I'm going to zoom in on one of the holes here. And I'm going to go into the create panel, and we'll grab a cylinder again. Okay, we're just going to drag that out. Right, we'll give it a little bit of height. Okay, and let's just figure this out. Let's take the height segments off. Okay, we'll do a radius that's slightly smaller than our hole, so let's do maybe 1.8. Okay, and let's just move this back here so we can see it. Right, and for the height, let's take this up. Let's do maybe 60. Let's do 70 maybe, just to be safe. Okay. Okay, and let's zoom in on this. Okay, let's see here. Let's leave it at 18 sides, okay, with one cap segment and one height segment. And we'll right click and convert this to editable poly. Okay, and let's go into polygon. We'll select all the polys. Then we'll deselect the middle ones, so we just have the two caps at the ends. Okay, and we'll delete those. Okay, then we'll go into edge and we'll select all of the edges. Okay, all the middle edges, don't select the end ones. Okay, and then we'll do a chamfer, and let's take this down. Okay, let's do maybe let's do maybe 0.08, and we'll hit OK. And then we'll go into polygon. We'll turn on ignore back facing, and I'm just going to change the color of this. Okay. Alright, and we'll just go in here and we're going to select the wider polygons. We're just going to skip one every time. Okay, so let's just work our way around it. Okay, so just go all the way around and just skip the smaller polygons in between. Okay, and you should have 18 when you're done. Okay, so let's do an extrude. Okay, and we'll do that by local normal. Let's take this way down. Okay, and we'll bring it out a bit. We don't need to have a lot of height on these. Let's do maybe 0.25 and OK. Right. Then I'm just going to drag around all the polygons again and then deselect the center ones. And let's turn off ignore back facing. Okay, we'll just select them all and then deselect the center ones. So we just got these little caps on the end selected at both sides. Okay, and we'll delete those. Right. Okay, and let's just go into isolation mode, Alt Q. Alright, and we'll go back into edge here. We'll just select all of the center edges. Okay, and then we'll do a connect. Alright, and let's do about 30 segments with no pinch or slide. And OK. Alright. We'll turn off edge, and let's also go into the hierarchy tab and we'll center the pivot point. Alright. And let's go into the modify panel. We're going to go down and put a twist on. Okay. Okay, we'll just go up on the angle here. Let's do 180. Okay. Okay, now I'll twist all the segments for us. Okay. So let's collapse that back down to edit poly. Right, so you just have it like that. Okay. Then we'll go in and we'll put a bend on. Okay, and we'll do 360 degrees. Okay, and that should bend it so it's closed together. Right. If you see any gaps like that, just take it up, but 360 should do it. Right. Okay, and let's also do 90 on the direction. Right. Okay, and we'll right click and convert this to editable poly to collapse it down. Okay, then we'll go into border. We'll just drag right through the whole thing. Okay, and we'll select the open seam here, which is where both halves met up. Okay, so let's control click vertex, and you can see we have 144 selected. Okay, all the way around that seam. Just make sure we have no other ones selected. Okay, and then we're going to go to weld, and we're just going to do a 0.1 weld, and okay. Okay, and that should select that seam, or weld that seam for you. Okay, so just like that, and you can check in border just by dragging through that, see if you have any open areas, and it doesn't look like we do, which is good. Okay, so let's turn off border, go into the hierarchy tab, and we'll center the pivot point again. Okay, and if you want to, you could put a turbo smooth on. Okay, just like that. And this will be pretty high poly already, but if you really want to push it, you can give it 2 iterations. Okay, just like that. So that's pretty quick and crude, but it should work for what we're doing. Okay, so I'm just going to take the iterations off. Okay, and I'm going to turn them on at render time. So I'm just going to tick the box and put 2 on. Okay, actually I might put 1 on the viewport, and then we'll do ice line display. Alright, just to help us line it up. Okay, so we'll name this maybe wire band. Okay, and then we'll exit isolation mode. Alright. And let's change its color. And throw the gray shader on there. Okay, and then we'll move it into position. Okay, so let's move it over here. Right. Just like that, and we'll move it up. We'll try to get it lined up with the hole at the top. Okay. Okay, and you can see that a couple of these here are on angles. So let's just do maybe that so that it doesn't look so perfectly straight. Okay, so before we line this up, let's just go to rotate, and we'll just tweak it off a little bit to the side. Okay, you don't have to do much. Let's do maybe 10 degrees or so. Okay, just like that. Alright. And it does look a little big here. We could scale it down a little bit. Okay, I don't want to go too small, but we'll take it down a little bit. Okay, and then we'll try to line it up. Okay, so I'm just going to put this up here and just try to line it up with the hole. Okay, like that. So it looks like it's going in there. Alright, and you can see it's intersecting a little bit at the bottom, so we'll just push that up. Okay, just like that. Okay, and let's select our bottom plate here. Alright, and we'll just move this over to match the bottom of the band. Okay, so we'll offset them slightly. Alright, we'll try to get this one lined up the same way. Okay, let's bring it up a little bit. Okay, just so it looks like it's going right in there. Okay, just like that. Right? And it doesn't have to be perfect. You'll never really see this up close, so just try to get it as close as you can to matching it. Okay, so let's select our band here. Okay, and we'll zoom in, and we'll hold shift, and we'll drag a copy over to the next hole here. Try to line that one up. Okay, and then we'll do 7 copies, and okay. Right, and we'll just check to make sure these lined up properly. And we have an extra one actually because we deleted the end of that plane, so we'll just delete that last one. Okay, So just check to make sure everything's lined up properly, and it looks pretty good. Right. Okay, and let's see. Okay, and the next thing we'll do here is you can see in the reference picture that it probably has some bolts in the bottom part here. Okay, so we'll just go in here and we'll select our bolts on the top plate. Okay, let's ungroup it now. Okay, and we'll just select the bolts here. Okay, those 4. Right, and in the front view here, we'll just shift drag these down to the second section. Okay, and put them on right on top there. Alright, just intersect them a little bit, just like that, so it has some inside. Okay, and let's just select all of these pieces. Okay, so select the bands plus the 2 pieces with the holes, as well as these lower bolts. Okay, and in the top view, let's actually group this first. Okay, we'll just call that wires, and okay, and then we'll shift drag a copy of this up. Okay, and we'll do 1 copy, and okay. Right, and we're going to rotate, and we'll just rotate it 90 degrees. Okay, like that. And then we'll push this one over here. Right, and we'll just line it up with the outside edge here. Okay, just like that. We'll check to see how this one's lined up. Okay, this one's pretty much lined up with the corner. Right, so we'll do it the same way over here. Maybe just like that. Okay, and that'll give us both of our pieces. Okay, and let's just grab one of our bolts here, and I think I will put a couple of bolts on the inside here. Okay, and we want to do any of the details on this before we start making copies, alright, so just get it the way you want, and I think we should put a couple extra bolts in there while we're doing this piece before we make our copies. Okay, so I'm just going to select one of the bolts on the top, and I'm going to do a shift copy of that, and okay, right, and then we'll rotate it upright 90 degrees, okay, and we'll just move it over. Right, now I'm just going to put it in the middle here between these pieces here. We'll just move it up slightly. Okay, so in the top view, let's just rotate this a bit and try to match the angle here. Okay, and we'll just push that into the surface. Right, and we'll hit Z to zoom on it. Okay, and let's move it down slightly. Okay, and let's see. Let's maybe push it over just a bit. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfectly centered between the 2 pieces, but try to get it close, and we'll do another shift drag over here. Okay, and I think I'll put it about there. Alright, and let's maybe do one on each side of these end ones here. Okay, so I'm going to do another shift drag over here, and I think I'll leave this one a little closer to the extrusion. Right, like that. Now we can maybe move it out a bit. Okay, so just like that, and we'll do the same thing at the other end. Okay, let's just copy this over here and we'll position it. Okay, just like that. Alright, now it'll just give us a little more detail. Okay, and we might want to rotate them a bit because they look too even. Okay, so let's go into top view. We'll select one of the bolts here. Okay, and let's switch our coordinate system here from view to local. Okay, just so that the rotation gizmo will be lined up with the screw when it's on the angle. Okay, and we'll just rotate that a bit. Right, just try to get that a bit of randomness. Let's turn off our angle snaps here. Okay, so we'll just rotate that one a bit. Come down here, let's grab this one, and we'll rotate that a little bit different. Alright, and let's rotate this last guy here. Okay. Right. So I think that looks decent. Okay, so I think that'll be our finished corner piece. And let's just go into wireframe with F3, and I'm just going to drag through all of the corner pieces, okay? And then we'll deselect the base. Okay, so just make sure you get everything that's part of the corner. All the bolts, the wires, the brackets down below, okay, and all those pieces. So, and make sure you don't have anything else selected on the model. Okay. Then we're going to go up to group, and we'll just name this something like full corner or something like that. And okay. Alright, and then we'll go into the top view here, and we're just going to copy this around to the other three corners. Okay, so let's go into the hierarchy tab with our group selected. We'll hit effect pivot only, right click the move tool, and zero out X and Y. We can close that and we'll turn the button off. Okay. Then we'll go up here and let's hit mirror. Okay, and we'll do a copy on the X, and that should line it up over here perfectly. Okay, so we'll hit OK. Right, and then we'll do another mirror, and we'll do this one on Y as a copy, and OK. And one more mirror, and this one should be on the X, and a copy, and OK. Right, and that'll take care of all four corners for us, and everything should be lined up for you perfectly. Okay, so just go in there and check it out, make sure that everything's sitting in the right position on each corner. Okay, we look pretty good here, so I think that's fine. Alright. Okay, so that'll definitely be the most difficult part of the entire model. Okay. Okay, so let's get the final big piece out of the way, and that'll be the base part down here. Okay, and this is not that complicated, it's pretty simple compared to this piece up here. Okay, so we'll get started on this, and let's just go into the front view here. Right, and I'm just going to select all of the top pieces, okay, everything down to the base, okay, and I'm just going to hide this, so we'll just right click and hide select it, just to get some of that stuff out of the viewport, okay. And let's go into the top view here. Right, and we'll just start the base with the box. Okay, so let's just drag that out, give it a little bit of height, and let's also right click on the move tool and zero out X and Y. Okay, and on the reference here you can see that this edge is pretty much in line with the sides of these shock absorbers here. Okay, so let's just take the length down a bit. Let's do maybe 312, and we'll do 312 the other way, and maybe just 3 or something for the height. Okay, and let's move it down in the front view. Okay, and we'll just line it up with the bottom of our plate over here. Okay. Okay, I think that's about the size we're looking for. Alright, and I think we'll have to come back in here maybe and just thicken up this piece here. It looks a little too thin to me. Okay, but we'll do that afterwards. Alright, so let's just get the base out of the way here. Let's maybe do 2 on the height instead of 3. Okay. Okay, so we'll right click and convert this to editable poly. And we'll go into polygon. And let's select the top one here. Okay. And in the top view, let's just do an inset. Okay, and we'll take this down. Okay, let's keep going on that. And it looks like the lip here is pretty much in line with the edge of our plate here. Okay, so let's do maybe 23 or so on the inset, and okay. Alright, and let's do an extrude. Okay, we'll just bring this up a little bit. It doesn't have to be too high. Let's do maybe 4 on that, and okay. And you can't really tell what it looks like inside the base here because it's so dark, but let's just do another inset maybe on this polygon just to get a little more detail in there. Okay, so we'll inset this again. Okay, let's just bring this down a bit. Let's do maybe 15 and okay. And I'm just going to get out of polygon for a second and just go into isolation mode with Alt Q. Right. Let's also change the color here. Okay. So let's go back into polygon and we'll just punch this polygon in a bit. Okay, so we'll take this down into the negatives. And let's do maybe -3 and okay. Right. And let's go around underneath here. Let me just get out of isolation mode for a second. Okay. So let's go down to the bottom. We'll select the bottom polygon here. Okay. Okay, and you can see this comes down. It looks like it's a little bit farther out than our inside one. Okay, so we'll inset this one, but we'll do it a little bit less. Okay, so let's do another inset. And let's do maybe 13 on that one. And okay. And then we'll extrude it down again. Alright, so let's do another extrude. Okay, we'll do this to positive. Let's bring that down. Okay. Let's do maybe 13 on this one as well. And okay. And you can see it goes in a little bit here and then comes back down and out. Okay. So let's do another small inset. Okay. We'll do that, say 3 maybe. And okay. And then we'll do another extrude. Okay, we'll just bring this down a little bit. Let's do maybe 2 on that one. And okay. And then we have the bottom plate here. Okay. And that looks like it comes out about the same distance as our top lip. Right? So let's maybe do a bevel on this one. Okay. Let's see. Let's take the height way down. Right. We'll take the outline way up. Okay. And we'll try to match it up in the top view there. Pretty close to the top lip. Okay, let's just zero out the height maybe for a second. Right. So let's just give the height something like maybe 0.1. And okay. Alright. Let's just check this out. Okay, so let's do another extrude. And I think we'll just do that about maybe 1.5. And okay. Alright. And I think that should be pretty close to our reference. So with this bottom polygon select, let's just delete it. We don't really need to have it in there. Okay. And let's get out of polygon. And we'll go back into isolation mode with Alt Q. Okay, and let's just soften up some edges here. Okay, so let's go into edge, and let's just select the 4 top edges. Okay, I'm just going to go into wireframe F3 to do that. Okay, so just the 2 here and the 2 on the inside. Let's do a loop on those and a chamfer. Okay, we'll take this down quite a bit. Let's do it pretty tight. We'll do maybe 0.25 and okay. Okay, let's grab this outer lip one here. Okay, loop that. Alright, and we'll chamfer this one down a little bit more. Let's take this up just a bit. Let's do maybe 0.4. We'll hit apply. And just bring the second one down to maybe 0.15. And okay. Then we'll come underneath here, grab this one, do a loop and a chamfer. And let's just do that 0.15 as well. And okay. Right, then we'll get this inside one here. Let's do these bottom ones at the same time. Okay, so we'll get this one and this one, as well as this one. Right, so all the 4 middle edges. Okay, I know it's a little hard to see. Right, and we'll just loop those. Right, and we'll knock these off a little bit. We'll just do maybe, let's do 0.2 on that, and okay. Then we'll come around to this one here on the outside of the bottom, do a loop and a chamfer. We'll take that up a little bit more. Let's do maybe 0.35, and we'll hit apply, and we'll just do a double on this one as well. And we'll do 0.12 for the second one, and okay. And you can see this has somewhat rounded corners, so let's just chamfer the corners down a bit. Okay, and I'll just do them all at once. So let's just select an edge here, do a loop, and then a ring. Okay, and then I'll select all the outside corners. Right, and let's do another chamfer, and we'll take this up a bit. Let's do maybe, let's do maybe 0.8 on that. We'll hit apply, and we'll bring this one down. Okay, just to round this out a little bit. Let's do about 0.3 or so for the second one, and okay. Right, so we'll turn off edge. We'll see how this looks. Okay, I think that looks decent. Okay, so let's just change the color to black, and we'll put our gray shader on there. And we should also probably give it a name. Let's just call it maybe main base. Okay. Then we'll exit isolation mode here. Right, we'll see how this looks. Right. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. We definitely need to make this base a little bit thicker here. Right, so let's select the part up top here. Okay, let's go into the front view. Right, and we'll go into vertex, and make sure you have ignore back facing turned off. And we'll just select all of the bottom verts. Okay, so just everything at the bottom, nothing on the top. Okay, and you can see this is quite a bit thicker. I think we should just maybe bring it down a little bit more on the sides here. Okay, so I'm just going to pull that down on the Y. Okay, and I think I'll come down just past our bracket here for these wires. Okay, just maybe a little bit past that. Maybe something like that. Okay, just so it's a little bit more beefy looking, and we don't have such a big gap underneath. Okay, so let's grab our bolts here, that group on the side. Okay, we'll hit H, and we'll just select all of our base bolt groups. Okay, so we have all 4 selected around it. Okay, we'll go back in the front view, and let's just pull these down a little bit and center them. Now that's wider. Okay, so just like that. Doesn't have to be perfect, but I think that looks a little bit better than what we had there. Okay, and I'm getting a little bit of lag in my viewports here, so let's just select one of our corner groups. Okay, let's just actually select all 4 corners. Okay, and then we'll go into the display tab up here, and I'm going to go down to freeze, and I'm just going to freeze select it. Okay, and then we'll tick this box to hide frozen objects. Okay, just to get them out of the viewport so it's a little bit faster. Okay, so now we'll right click and unhide all. Okay. Alright, let's go down here underneath. Let's just put some kind of simple cylinder or something inside between the 2 base pieces, just so if you see through there, it won't look like this is just floating in the air. Okay, so let's go into the top view. Okay, let's just go into the crate panel, we'll grab a cylinder. Let's just drag that out from the center. Okay, let's do maybe something close to the radius of our original base piece. Okay, so maybe just around this edge here. Okay, and let's just do maybe 110 or so for the radius. Okay, and we'll take the sides up to maybe, let's do 80. Okay, we don't need any height segments or cap segments, and we'll figure out the height in a second. Okay, so let's go into the front view. Just pull this down. Okay, we'll just position it between these two pieces here. Okay, so into the base, let's bring the height up a little bit. Let's do 20 on the height. Okay, and we'll also right click the move tool and zero out X and Y just to make sure it's centered. Okay, and I'll just make it look a little more realistic if anybody sees in there. Okay. Alright, so let's go into isolation mode, Alt Q. We'll convert this to editable poly. Let's grab the top and bottom polygons and we'll just delete those. Okay, and then we'll also just put a smooth modifier on this, and we'll take auto smooth. Okay, and let's also name it, and let's just call it maybe bass drum or something like that. Okay, and we'll change the color to black. Alright, put that shader on there. Okay, then we can exit isolation mode. Okay, and we'll see how that looks. Whoops. Okay, I think that looks okay.